Welcome everyone to Inside the Fight, post-fight UFC on ESPN, Poirier versus Hooker. Great night of fights. Overall, fantastic round. You basically got everything. I think there was 2 knockouts, 4 submissions, and 4 decisions between all the prelims and main card. But normally, for the type of fight cards, I only cover the co-main event and main event. But I feel like I had to highlight 2 other fights in here, just because of the spectacularity of these fights. Let's start with Takashi Sato taking on Jason Witt, welcoming Jason Witt into the UFC in the worst possible way by knocking out Jason Witt within 47 seconds of the very first round. Sato just caught him lovely with a left. He was lingering. He was definitely hurt. There, I believe he kept in that knee and then just kept hitting him, and that was all she wrote. Sato getting the victory. He is now 2-1 in the UFC, I believe now. Jason Witt, welcome to the UFC. Don't always win them, but you can learn. This is not an easy game, especially when you're in the UFC. The competition level goes so much higher, which I will mention why I just said that. But the other fight I do want to highlight is Maurice Greene taking on Gian Villante. This was a fight Maurice had to win, especially with going in here with a 2-fight losing streak, I believe he had, and he pulled off a upset victory when he looked like he was done. Gets a submission on triangle choke in the 3rd round after being knocked to the ground. Gotta give him all the credit in the world. He stayed in there, he fought hard with his heart, and pulled off an amazing comeback from behind victory. Kudos to him. Now, let's talk about our co-main event. Mike Perry taking on Mickey Gall. This was a fight that Mike Perry needed to win, especially going in here with a 2-fight losing streak. You never want to get to the 3-fight losing streak. And he defeated Mickey Gall easily. It wasn't even debatable. It wasn't even close. Mickey Gall just had no answer for Mike Perry. And this is why I was mentioning that first thing when I first mentioned. Mickey Gall, his UFC career has been, win, lose, basically. He won his first 2 fights in the UFC against, CM Punk. And then he beat Sage Northcutt. I think that was his name. No, in a division that wasn't Sage's normal division. So he's just not on the right level. I think he just not UFC level. And his fight history shows that. The fact that in the last 6 fights he's 3-3 just goes to show that. The fact that he was the co-main event, let's be honest, the reason why he was there in the co-main event was because at least one of the big victories he has was against CM Punk. Not taking away anything away from him, because he is a talent. He's still young. He still has a bright future ahead of him. But I do feel whatever he has been doing, he needs to change it up, because it just has not been working for him. He hasn't been able to click it together. And that's all you could say about this. Main event time. Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker in what must be one of the best fights of the year. If you didn't think last week was the fight of the year, this is definitely a fight of the year. This is fight of the night. A 5-round back and forth war. Nothing to take away from neither one of these two. Dustin Poirier takes the victory over Dan Hooker. It was unanimous. It was like a decision. But this was a war, and this is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what they expected, to go in there and just fight their hearts out. Dustin Poirier was entering this fight with a 1-loss win-lose streak against the champ himself, Khabib, while Dan Hooker had a 3-fight win streak snapped thanks to this loss. This was an amazing fight. If you haven't seen it, go watch that fight. But before you go watch that, make sure you like this video. But it is it was a fantastic fight. You can't go wrong with not saying that this was not a fight of a year contender. this was definitely one of those fights that you're going to say, man, I can't believe I missed it. I got to go watch this fight. And I believe ESPN is airing this fight throughout the week because that's, nothing else to watch. Anywho, that's all we got for this week's Inside the Fight. In 2 weeks, though, UFC Fight Island begins with a big one. UFC 251, Kamaru Usman taking on Gilbert Burns for the welterweight title. And that's not all. We got the featherweight title on the line. Max Holloway taking on champion Alexander Volkanovski for the welterweight title of the world. And that's not all. Jose Aldo taking on Peter Yang for the vacant bantamweight championship of the UFC. On top of that, there are other fights in this card. So I will be definitely doing an Inside the Fight preview full of my predictions and what I see going into this fight card. This is the first of I believe there's 3 fights in Fight Island. It's taking place in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be a great week of fights, and that is July 11th. Until then, guys, make sure to stay safe. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment, and let me know what you thought of the main event this past week. And stay good, stay healthy.